Hello and welcome back, fellow PowerShell engineers. Today I'm here to show you the first commandlet, I should say, in my new module ambush. And the first commandlet is set ambush users. And it's actually a great honeypot commandlet that creates a ton of different user profile folders. Not really profile, well, yeah, I guess profile folders. Um, and it creates some random data in them, and I'm going to go ahead and show that to you. So we see they popped up right here. Made I only did 5 different users, and if we go back to scripts, it actually made a little report on what the users were. We'll go in here and we'll just take a look at. You'll see that it's an entire user folder with even the correct icons. And in the desktop of every one of these, you see a bogus, randomly named file with some credentials. And if you go back and look into downloads, you see a bogus API credentials login or set of API credentials, a bogus file that actually maps to a variety of different API credentials. So let's dive a little deeper into this script because this is a pretty cool script. And you'll see up top, it starts in the function it starts by defining a create API key file function. And this is where those API key files are actually located. So it makes a lot of different files for a lot of different services. And that's about the end of that. I did have a function in here. I had it pulling Wikipedia images. It was kind of getting those denied. So I commented that piece of it out when this is actually invoked later. But right here is a more interesting part. It actually has 2,000 different last names defined directly in the script, and then the first initials. Then it's got the subfolders. It's got random password generator, and these are the random names of the file names that are going on the desktop. Now here are the images. Again, these kind of weren't loading correctly. You know, it was just loading like the Python logo, Amazon logo, Coke logo, but it wasn't loading correctly. So in the invocation, I didn't do it. So here's the function that generates the random API key, and it's got different prefixes there. Here's where we actually make the API key file depending on what it's for. And then we've got our icon folders being declared, generating the random usernames, the user paths. This is where the things are actually created, right? This is like the core function. And then here's more of our feedback, where we deal with the report path if a report is set, which I'll show you the report here in a second. You see our feedback is looking pretty good as well. And this is the HTML in the report. It's actually an HTML report. And here's the actual invocation I did of it when I invoked it. So if you go up a couple folders, you will see the HTML report. We'll go ahead and open that. And this is just sort of a documentation of what was created. Now, I am going to be working on a different configuration that I'll be adding to this to add some watcher configurations to your SIEM if you're using one, such as Splunk or any of the other major SIEMs, even a custom Python script I was looking at creating just to like as a watcher of these files. Because again, if these are honeypot files, you wouldn't want them. If someone's opening, like nobody should be opening them. Only a threat actor or maybe an internal threat, an inside threat, would be opening them. So, yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and actually just do another demo, and I want to see it create, let's just say 1,000 users and see how it does with that, how quickly we can get through that. Man, it's cranking through. So we go into our users. We'll see it's just climbing up at a rapid rate. I made sure to get some usernames with a lot of different, varieties from around the world. Different areas, not just any particular area. So it's pretty cool. It's cranking away, just making these. And again, these are kind of easy things to do, right? This is just creating new items. Every single one of these has these bogus Honeypot keys and the bogus credentials on the desktop. So this is a starter. This is definitely going to get more robust. But I wanted to let you guys know I'm still working on things. I'm still working on my API suite, Posh API. Principally, the PS Mail suite is the first one. I really want that. I want to get that out sooner, but I want that to land really well. So, let's see how close we are to completion here. I do have one other thing to show you guys. Let's go up. 906, we're almost done. It's still rolling, almost there. All right, we're done. 1,005 items. It's pretty crazy. So again, this would really throw a threat actor off if they saw 1,000 different user folders on there, especially particularly an unsophisticated threat actor. But if they're scanning for particular things like credentials, my login, that kind of stuff, this potentially would throw them off. Now, is this the same thing as real security? No, but it is another defensive, hardening your architecture, that kind of thing. But it is something to, again, obfuscate. And I do think there is some value to that, right? So my thought is, if you do have an XDR, MDR solution, that if you're properly watching these things, it might throw the threat actor off enough to before your XDR, MDR kind of hops in and stops what they're doing. And I just think it's just really a fun script to make too, to be honest. Making the report and everything. So, so the other script I have in here is I thought just that new mock API key file was pretty interesting. I was like, that could be have a use case in its own. So I sort of reconfigured it to have a test invocation, and it actually has I'm just going to put these API files in C scripts, users, I'll just dump them there. Pretty simple invocation if you just wanted to generate all of them. So let's go ahead and do that. And take a look. Oh, I did make a keys file. So we see all the 20, and I've actually got another version I'm going to commit soon that's got even more API keys. And again, this is just a way to make some dummy API keys. So none of these are real, and but they do serve as great honeypots in my opinion. So thank you so much, guys, for checking this out. More security things to come. If you have not been checking out my newsletter, go check it out. Substack, PowerShell Engineer, www.powershellengineer.com. Hitting your inbox every Monday with the latest PowerShell information. And if you haven't checked out the PowerShell podcast yet, with Andrew Pla with PDQ, I would encourage you to go check out the @PDQ channel, the best source of PowerShell content and information, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. So thank you so much. Comment, love to hear what you guys think about this, and